Well, hello everyone. Happy Memorial Weekend. I hope you all are doing wonderfully. Today we are going to be making 3 different desserts slash breakfast slash whatever you want to call it.
But I call them all desserts.
With these delicious protein pancake mixes. While we are making these recipes, we are going to talk about trail running and road running and why I decided to switch from road running to trail running after years of mainly doing road running. I don't know if all of you know, I ran all through high school, track and cross country. I also did 3 years of college, 1 year being Division I cross country and track. Back then I did do a little bit more trail running. I transitioned into focusing on road running mainly because I was wanting to get faster. We will talk about it more soon and I will explain the benefits of trail running over road running, my journey transitioning from road running to trail running and why I did it, how I did it, and the benefits I received from it. We are going to go ahead and get going. The first recipe we are going to make, we are going to use banana protein pancake mix and we're going to make just some pancakes. We're going to start with the basics, what this pancake mix is made for, and that's pancakes, and then we will move on to the buttermilk mix. We're going to be making some donuts with sprinkles and pink frosting. Lastly, we'll be making a nice little chocolate bundt cake with the chocolate. We will try them all as we go and chat about the trail running versus road running.
We're multitasking it.
Stay tuned, it's gonna be fun. Let's get going. Okay, so we are ready to go. We've got our banana Sinfit protein pancake mix. You're ready to make these pancakes. But first, before we begin, I'm gonna talk to you a little bit about why I transitioned from road running to trail running. So for me, my running journey started as a 14-year-old in high school. Most of the runs that we did were on the road, but I know my coaches tried to get us on the trails as often as possible because a lot of the races were on hilly trails, hence cross country. I did a lot of roads, a lot of trails. As I got older, I got into more of the road racing scene and realized that I could go faster on the road than the trails and kind of got obsessive with my pace. So I ended up being stuck out on the road, stuck in that mindset, looking at my GPS watch to make sure I was running sub 7 pace for all of my runs, which was not smart, especially when it was on the roads. Over the years, I started accumulating little and big injuries, nothing that required surgery, but most of them were from overuse and repetition of running on the road. Obviously, the road does not absorb shock very well, and you're not even always on that blacktop, which absorbs shock better than cement. You're often on the sidewalks unless you are on a paved path that is pre-made for like biking or walking. Another thing with the road running, I realized I got burnt out more. You're kind of just pounding the ground, like pounding yourself into it, literally and physically. I realized that so much repetition in my brain and my body kind of caused me to have days where I just didn't want to get out there and run, which was sad because I love running. Very, very recently, I decided to take up trail running. I just decided I'm going to try it, see how it goes. I don't know how it will go. I know I'm going to have to go slower. I know I'm going to have to build more strength on the hills. Over time, I realized, and it's been since like January, I realized that I don't get injured very often. The only injury I got recently was a stupid one from tying my shoe too tight. And I realized I've gotten stronger, like my hip stability, my ankle stability have increased. I don't ever get burnt out. I might have a day where I'm tired, but I never don't want to run. Overall, I found that trail running is just more sustainable for me and probably for most people. But that's the story of me. We're gonna go ahead and make these pancakes and then we'll move on to the next topic where we'll talk about road running. So we're gonna open this up. We're gonna pour in a cup. 1 cup. We're gonna get 3/4 cup of water. Mix it all up. Grease up the pan. This measurement makes about 3 pancakes. And it is all done. This one goes to AJ. Can take a bite and let me know how it is. Got our banana pancakes from Sinfit with whipped cream and blueberry syrup.
That's good.
Yeah.
Yep, very good.
All right, on to the next. We're gonna move on to our protein donuts. I have not made these before, so this will be a little experiment. We are going to use the Sinfit buttermilk pancake mix. Then we're gonna make a little healthy frosting. We're gonna put some sprinkles on top. Make sure that the frosting is pink so we can get our pink sprinkled high protein donut out of protein pancake mix from Sinfit. Before we get going, I'm gonna get back to our running topic. We're gonna talk about the pros and cons, mainly cons, of road running so that I can try to convince you to believe that in the long run, trail running is better for your body and mind. Road running is usually for people who are competitive and want to go fast because it is easier to go fast when you're on a solid flat surface. If you're on a trail, you're gonna be running over obstacles, you're gonna have more hills. In general, it's harder to run faster if you are on a trail. When you're running on these hard surfaces, your muscles break down a lot faster. This is what happened to me. And then it's tougher to recover as you rack up the miles because many runners have the goal of increasing their miles, but a lot don't get there without getting hurt. And this applies mainly to road running. I can vouch for that because for years I've been trying to get back to the mileage I ran in high school and college, and it's pretty much been impossible. Probably the highest I've hit was 25 miles, and that was maybe 1 week out of the year. Once I went to the trails, I was able to increase so quickly. I'm already at 30 miles and hopefully will increase my mileage soon. When you're on the roads, it's tougher to recover. It's more difficult to increase your miles without getting hurt. Overuse and repetitive injuries are more common because your foot strike is going to be the same for every single landing on the road. Whereas when you're on a trail, your foot changes up what it does because of the surface and obstacles, up hills, down hills, over rocks, and as a result, you build strength in different muscles and you're not overusing the same over and over in general like you do on the road. So you kind of switch it up, give some a break, and overall you're getting that lateral movement, increasing your ankle and hip stability. So yes, in general, easier to get an overuse injury on the road, but I will say overall, I've noticed I'm able to go faster on the roads when I train on the trails, and I wouldn't be opposed to doing a road race because it would only be one race. That is the info I have for you on road running. We're gonna go ahead and make these donuts with the frosting, and then we'll get back to trail running pros and cons.
Mostly pros.
Hopefully I can convince you. All right, so we got our buttermilk pancake mix. We're gonna go ahead and preheat the oven to 350. So let's go ahead and do that. We're gonna kind of do the same measurements we did for the pancakes. I may add a little more. Let's go for 1.5 cups and see what it does. Gonna get some water. We're gonna see how a little over 1/2 cup goes, about 3/4 cup. And then we're gonna grab our whisk. And you know, I think I'm just gonna add a little bit more because I wanna make sure I have enough for the 6 donuts in the pan. So this is our pan. And a tad bit of water. And we'll mix it up again. See it? Nice and thick. We're gonna put some sprinkles inside of the donuts as well as on top. I have my olive oil. I'm gonna grease up this pan, and then we're gonna pour the batter in, pop it in the oven, and watch it bake. Our donuts are all ready. We're gonna go ahead and put them in the oven. I'm gonna put 10 minutes and check on them as they go because I've never done this recipe before. This is an experiment. I will let you know how long it takes. Okay, the donuts are done. I'm gonna get them. I can't wait. Look at these. Ooh, look at this little donut. I'm gonna take these out of the pan, put them on a plate so they can cool, and then they'll be ready to be frosted. Okay, now it's time to make some delicious, healthy frosting. My bowl here, food coloring to make it pink. I got my hand mixer and these protein powder, fat-free cream cheese, and almond milk. All right, I'm gonna start with 3 ounces of this fat-free cream cheese. You can use low-fat cream cheese as well. And we're gonna do about 6 tablespoons, equivalent to our 3 ounces. And this has number lines on it, so I'm just gonna cut up to the 3. And next, we're gonna add some protein powder. It calls for vanilla. I decided I want it to taste a little fruity. Because it's gonna be pink and it's gonna be a pink sprinkled donut, we're gonna use our Fruity Pebble Sinfit protein powder, and it calls for 1 scoop. Such an easy recipe. We're gonna do 3 tablespoons of our almond milk. And last but not least, we're gonna add a little bit of red food coloring to make sure that it turns out pink. So just add a little bit. And grab your mixer and mix it up. Wow, that's delicious. I'm gonna check to see if the donuts are cooled down, and then we're gonna frost them and add some sprinkles. We are all ready to frost these donuts. I have the frosting, the donuts, and the sprinkles. Put the hair back so I don't get the frosting in it. So we're gonna take our donuts, we're gonna dunk it in, sprinkles, and done. We are done. Look at these. They look like they're straight out of a regular donut bakery. Okay, now the most important part. I am going to try one. Wow, that is so good. Oh my gosh, tastes like a real donut from the bakery. Highly recommend, go try making these. Get your Sinfit powder first because the frosting turns out amazing with this protein powder. Use the buttermilk pancake mix. Just a reminder, don't forget, go to sinfitnutrition.com, use my code HYPEBYALLY20. Get this pancake mix, make yourself some pink sprinkled donuts. So our last recipe we're gonna make, we're gonna use our chocolate protein pancake mix. We're gonna make a little Bundt cake, a mini Bundt cake. We are going to use this little Bundt cake iron that I got from my grandma. You may have seen it in a previous video. Before we get into it, like I said, we are going to talk about pros and the cons of trail running. Trail running in general usually attracts
outdoorsy people.
Most road runners are also outdoorsy people, so I feel like it's kind of a mix of the two. Trail running is not as competitive as road running. If you're looking for something where you don't have too much pressure on you, goal is more so to finish, and to finish by running higher elevation on the uneven terrain, maintaining your pace, just getting through the race. One of the reasons I transitioned to trail running was because I was hoping that I would be able to increase my miles without getting hurt. And that has been done already. I found that running trails and running more hills has made me stronger and more versatile. If I go on the road, I am faster naturally because I have built this strength from gaining stability in my ankles and hips, and also strength and endurance that it takes to run all the hills and to keep going. I usually run about 30 to sometimes 60 seconds slower on the trails, but that is okay because you have to know that trails are a little more difficult to run on, and the softer surface prevents injuries because, like I said, so much shock from the cement and the road. Your foot strike as a trail runner varies, which allows you to avoid getting an overuse or repetitive motion injury. Another reason that I love trail running is that I feel carefree outdoors in a nice and peaceful environment. I never get bored with trail running because I'm seeing something different all the time. I have little obstacles and challenges that I need to pay attention to. I feel like I'm away from traffic. I don't have to deal with stoplights and cars, exhaust. I'm in nature, which naturally gives me more of a peaceful feeling and pushes me on. The only negative that I would say, aside from you have to run slower, is that you must pay attention to your footing. Because if you don't, you might fall, roll an ankle, and you don't want to risk an injury like that. You got to be attentive on the trails. You also just have to be a little more aware of your surroundings if you're in an area where there are more animals. But overall, I feel like trail running is an excellent therapy that helps us to deal with the challenges that life throws at us. And if we are able to continue doing that without being injured, I totally feel like it's worth it. I'll let you guys think after we finish making this last little dessert. We'll finish up the video and you can decide for yourself if switching from road running to trail running is worth it. Let's make our Sinfit Bundt cake. All right, we're all ready to dump it in the Bundt cake maker. Okay, it's time to see how this cake turns out. We got our chocolate cake. I really hope you enjoyed learning about why I switched from road running to trail running. I kind of hope I convinced you to try out a little more trail running because it is just so good for everyone mentally and physically. I also hope you enjoyed watching me make these delicious desserts, especially the donuts. Those donuts are bomb. If you want to make some healthy donuts, try this recipe. If you have any questions, comment below. Remember, Sinfit Nutrition, hyped by Ali20, get your discounts. I hope you have an amazing day, and please don't forget to give me a thumbs up up if you enjoyed this video, and subscribe for more fun content like this. Follow my Instagram. Don't forget, especially when you eat all these delicious desserts, to stay hyped.